Hi and welcome to this reading. Today's reading is about conflict and jealousy. And interestingly, the song Jealousy, Natalie Merchant's Jealousy, has been coming through in my random shuffle for the last couple of days. And I was wondering what it was attributed to. So I've done a pre-shuffle for this reading, and I got the Six of Cups, which is people from your past, can often be seen as family, siblings, and people that you've been in and around for a long time. So there's this, I want to say, an underlying foundation that's been built with these people. And I normally have my devices turned off, and that is a message coming through. There's a message coming through. And I don't know why I'm guided to share this, but the message was from my daughter, and I had asked her to text me when she woke up because it's something I want to do today. And I was wondering if she wanted to join me. And she's texted to say that she's awake, but that she has a team meeting and a few other things to do, which is fine because I'm doing this reading. So that's interesting, because often things that happen in and around a reading, in the time frame of when a reading is put out or recorded, reflect the energy within the reading. So something that you're meant to do with a group of people, with somebody, a family member, and plans have changed, or they're non-committal. So I hadn't planned on doing this reading today, but energy just punches through. Now, all the decks that I use on my channel are my own designs because I'm an illustrator. So if you call to any of them, the links to them can be found in the description box. But offline, I do have multiple decks in my journey learning to read the tarot. And with the prominence of biblical messages that I have had coming through, I purchased a tarot deck called the Biblical Tarot, which aligns the suits of cards with stories within the Bible. And I just had it sitting beside my bed, and I was called to pick it up this morning and shuffle and ask for an energy of today. The card that I got was the Five of Candles, Joseph and his jealous brothers. And the story behind that, if you don't know the biblical story, come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay our hands on him after all. He is our brother, our own flesh and blood. His brothers agreed. Joseph, the favored son of Jacob, is envied by his brothers because of the special treatment he receives from their father, and because of Joseph's dreams that predict his rise to prominence over them. The jealousy leads them to sell Joseph into slavery. However, this act of betrayal begins Joseph's journey from slave to high-ranking official in Egypt, where he eventually reconciles with his family during a famine. The story encapsulates the complexity of familial relationships, personal growth through adversity, and the ultimate reconciliation and understanding, which is this: things coming back from the past. I said I wasn't planning on doing this reading, but the reality is that it is actually part of a reading that I was meant to do. Things are actually coming full circle. Because if you think about Joseph, he was sold into slavery by his brothers because they were jealous of him. But once there was a famine, there was a reconciliation. If we look at the current transit at the moment, which is the Pluto and Aquarius transit, it's a 20-year transit that happens every 250 years. And it's a time of revolutionary change. So when things that are broken actually come back together. And a couple of days ago, King Charles, who turned 77, interestingly, that 77 number. King Charles, for the first time in 500 years, an English monarch, went to Rome to meet the Pope and prayed in the Vatican. Now, why is that important? Because 1536, so two Pluto and Aquarius transits ago, so two lots of 250 Pluto and Aquarius transits ago, Henry VIII broke ties with Rome. England was Catholic, and because Rome wouldn't agree to him divorcing his first wife because he wanted to marry Anne Boleyn, because they wouldn't agree, he broke ties with the Vatican and changed England from Catholic to the Church of England, and effectively made himself the head of everything. But he's just gone back to the Vatican. after 500 years, or the current king has just gone back to the Vatican after 500 years. So it's this 536. The midpoint would be the Pluto and Aquarius transit in the 1700s, and then the end point, if we're looking at a figure of 8, the end point is now. Something coming back into alignment after a period of upheaval. But within this specific reading, the underlying is jealousy. Jealousy. Competition. Competition, conflicts, clashes of personalities, signifying a period of struggle that, whilst challenging, is typically not insurmountable and can lead to growth through overcoming adversity. Okay, let's get completion. How beautiful. That's so beautiful. This is ending. This is ending a period. And the irony is that Catholicism, if we're looking at that particular aspect of this reading, Catholicism and the Church of England, they both worship the same God. And that ruffling in the kitchen. My husband's working from home today, and I just did a quick random shuffle before I started this reading. And annoyingly, when he goes out in my car, he puts music on. Is there a message in this? But I've sent him the link to our family account on Spotify so many times so that he can set up his own profile. But he just goes on to my profile and then listens to his music. He was listening to greatest hip hop or something like that. It's not something that I listen to at all. And so when I went to do a random shuffle, I realized that he was listening to my playlist in the car, or using my profile to listen to my it's not my playlist. Greatest hip hop is not my playlist. He was using my profile to listen to his songs in the car. And the song that was playing was, I always get tricked up by this word, Eminem, you know who I mean. Without Me. I don't know if the lyrics within that song actually have relevance to this reading. Without me, somebody that's ostracized because others are jealous. The other thing that's been coming through the last couple of days, and I don't know, I presume maybe a rapper, I don't know. I keep hearing Kid Cudi. Like, I'll just be randomly hanging the washing or packing away the groceries, and I just keep hearing it, Kid Cudi, to the point where I refuse to go and look it up because I don't want to know if they're a singer, if they're a rapper. I don't want to know the songs, but it has some sort of relevance. And if this reading resonates with you, some sort of sign, symbol around that person, maybe what's going on in their life, I don't know. And I don't do readings on specific people, so this reading isn't about that person. But I just keep hearing it, Kid Cudi, completion, an awful period of time where there's been some conflict, ostracizing, jealousy, but that period is over. Things are coming back around. And maybe things are coming back around because people have had an opportunity to recognize their own faults within it. Okay. An angel. Oh, too many. Number 3, protection from harm. That's the 3 of Wands. So stepping into some sort of new beginning. So this angel loves truth. They keep their word and obliges those in need of their services. Soul guardian for those born 12:40 a.m. to 1 a.m. Moral guardian for those born the 22nd of March, the 2nd of June, the 13th of August, the 24th of October, and the 4th of January. I'm pretty sure it's the 24th of October today. Physical guardian for those born the 30th of March to the 3rd of April. Now, all my readings are timeless. Whenever you stumble across it, I'm just going to check. Yeah, it's the 24th of October today. All my readings are timeless. Whenever you stumble across it, you're meant to find it. But what that actually says to me is that the cards that are coming out in this reading are in alignment with the energy of the reading, with the energy that I'm picking up on. An energy of jealousy. Natalie Merchant, Jealousy. I don't know the lyrics of that song. I'll pop those songs in the description box. There might be more messages for you in the lyrics of the song. Could be the music video. And you're going to hear banging in the kitchen because they're out in the kitchen. As I said, my husband's working from home and my daughter's just woken up. So they're out in the kitchen cooking up a storm. Okay, that's actually, no, I'm going to do that one. The energy around you. If you are the person where there has been jealousy, or look, it could be currently at the moment. Oh, goodness. The Ten of Swords. Backstabbing, betrayal. And the Four of Wands. Yeah. This reading is literal, right? The Ten of Swords is backstabbing, betrayal. Swords are, a stab in the heart, right? A stab in the back. So somebody doing something behind your back. The Sun in Gemini. Gemini can be seen as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Somebody that you thought was your friend actually turns out to be your foe. And the Four of Wands is the constructs of, if you think of it as a house, and I've drawn it as a house, people within the four walls of the world that you live in. And it's meant to be a celebratory energy. So it's meant to be, I'm safe within the four walls of my home, your home being your world, but you're actually not. That's the energy. This could be coming to realize that the people that you've had within the four walls of, the people that you've invited in to your home being your inner sanctum, a recognition that these people actually don't have your best interests at heart. And the funny thing was that prior to this reading, and I don't go looking for things, I was just scrolling on Instagram and a story popped up, a reel popped up, and it was actually two separate ones. It was talking about the assassination in Utah and the realization now that they have all the video footage that it was an inside job. This is an inside job. The realization, it's a protection from harm. It's an inside job. Maybe this is happening because you are finally meant to see people for who they are. An inside job. I just keep hearing, why now? Why now? And I'm thinking about King Charles. Why now did he go to the Vatican 500 years later? Why now? Is there an ulterior motive? Why now? And that 77 number. And it's been popping up. I was looking, yesterday I spent the day, we're going to Melbourne this weekend. I've got a big medical appointment in Melbourne with my daughter. And I was trying to, let me think about how to word this. She has a neurological condition. Oh, this is so poetic, right? She has autoimmune encephalitis where the body from the inside attacks, something from the inside attacks itself and presents in a neurological way. And we're going to a big research hospital in Melbourne, the best in the country, to try and connect or find a connection between when she was 4 months old. She's in her mid-20s now. When she was 4 months old, she presented with multiple anaphylactic allergies. So anaphylactic allergies are things that can kill you if you consume them, if you eat them, if you come in contact with them. Your body effectively, in a way, trying to protect itself from harm inadvertently, because that's what anaphylaxis is, right? Trying to protect itself from harm. And it's so funny because I wash my, things just happen. I wash my feather down pillow. I've got a new washing machine. It's got this sanitized mode. So I washed my feather pillow yesterday and dried it completely dry, but it stirred up all the feathers in it. And I've woke up this morning with big red rings around my eyes. And that's what happens when you have anaphylaxis, is your body recognizes the food, egg, dairy, nuts, whatever it is, and it closes up. It swells shut. Your lips, your tongue, your eyes, sometimes your ears, every orifice essentially swells shut. It slows your blood pressure down in order to protect you from harm. But inadvertently, in doing that, unless you have an EpiPen handy, it kills you. That's anaphylaxis. And it's autoimmune. So we're going there to track back what damage has her immune system done over the 20 years, so that even though now she doesn't have allergies anymore, she's outgrown them all, it's represented in a different way. Yeah, there's so many little side tangents in this. Maybe you were attacked before, you've come back, and you're being attacked in a different way. Even here, maybe in an attempt to protect yourself, you've done harm to yourself because you've almost pulled down all the vaults, pulled down all the doors and windows. I keep getting, and it's been coming through too, all the songs from the Truman Show. Truman sleeps, knowing that something's trying to attack you, but ignoring it. And that was the other video that popped up. It was Candace, and she was saying that she now realizes that her friend's life and everybody around was a complete lie. Wow, okay, let's have a look. You. What action are you taking in the 3D? Now that completion suggests to me that there's been a realization. And set sail, there's been a realization. And I just keep hearing don't drink the Kool-Aid, because another reader, a reading from like 4 years ago, popped up, and it was talking about apple juice and who drinks the apple juice and who doesn't drink the apple juice. And the apple juice now, not 4 years ago when that was published, but now the apple juice is the juice box emoji is being used on social media. People are talking in codes here. People are talking in codes. And you've twigged to it. Because that Truman movie is about him twigging to all the falsities and lies that are in and around him, that are all being propped up and manipulated for somebody else's gain. Twig to it. And even too, you know, the hospital in Melbourne where we're going has asked us to bring any medical documentation from the beginning, from the start. I mean, we're going back 23 years here. We've moved house multiple times, you know, things get lost. And so you can call in Australia, there's like a My Health record, so you can download stuff from that. But a lot of the time you can only download it if the doctor's surgery has uploaded it. So then it's been phone calls and trying to get information. And it has been difficult. Trying to get information about what's gone on has actually been a nightmare, so that they have everything on file. Because of course we have this appointment once. It's a bit like if you're going to court, you need all the documentation. You need all the documentation. But trying to chase people down, especially here, Ten of Swords, people down that have actually not had your best interests in their heart, at heart. Okay, this is you. What are you doing in the 3D? Now that you know, Ace of Cups. Well, aces are a new beginning, a full cup of love. If we're talking about a relationship here, it might be a recognition that, or a realization that what you thought was the Ace of Cups isn't actually the Ace of Cups. You might be moving away from a relationship. You might be moving away because cups are emotions. You might be moving away from an emotional connection that you thought that you had with somebody or a group of people or family, because they no longer fill your cup. That's also a card of freedom in this deck. A card of resilience, a card of making a stand that you can do it on your own. And in doing that, you come into alignment with other people who have done the same thing. The Soul. We've got the Six of Swords, which is, I just heard divine alignment. It's the divine moving you out of choppy waters into calmer waters. The Six of Swords is Mercury, which is about communication in Aquarius. Aquarius is the rebel, going it alone. And depending on where you are in the timeline of this is a bit like, if you think about Joseph, sent off by his brothers because of their jealousy. He had to go it alone. He made a name for himself. And then in the end, they reconciled. But this is, you know, you can reconcile with somebody. I can never forget though. You can reconcile with somebody that you've had past history with. Look at that. My candle's just gone out. I smelt that. I mean, the candle's gone out. I smelled that. Like I just got that whiff of something burning down the house. But once, I mean, look at that. Once a candle's gone out, you can't relight it. Like there's nothing left to burn. The damage is done. And so depending on where you are in your timeline, the action of being outcast, of being pushed away, is allowing you to realize the true intentions of the people around you. Or if you're further along in the timeline and you've had that reconciliation with people, it's a recognition that you really can't reignite that flame with these people. Yes, you can be kind, you can be cordial. They are part of your history, but you almost can't go back and change the past. Like King Charles, he can't go back and make England Catholic now. The irony about that story, and again, I'm called to say things. The irony about that story is Henry VIII was married to Catherine of Aragon. She was Catholic, he was Catholic. The Pope refused to annul their marriage so that he could marry Anne Boleyn. So he stepped away from the church, changed England to the Church of England, married Anne Boleyn, and then literally 12 months later, chopped her head off. So she died anyway. King Charles married Diana, kept a mistress. Diana died. And now he's married to that mistress. It's like history repeating. Something's repeating here. And if you are re-engaging, if you're at the point where this has all happened and you are re-engaging with those people, are bringing back together a completion, there's something about what's happened in the past that will mirror something that's happening in the present. Seven of Swords. There's a deception, an illusion here. Okay, the message from the man upstairs. The Four of Swords is trying to come out. The Four of Swords, the wounded soldier that's coming back for rest and relaxation. He's not, he's coming back for healing. The moon, under the guise of the moon. The message from the man upstairs. Justice. Wow. Balance, bringing things back into balance, which is that figure 8. Bringing things back into balance. And the outcome, the Queen of Swords. Now that is Uranus and Aquarius. This is, maybe this is all happening or has happened because Uranus is earthquake energy. It's, I've seen this, I've been hurt. I've either moved away or I'm moving away because I've gotten myself a different perspective from the 10 swords that were put in my back. Yeah, look at that, King of Wands on the bottom. In this deck, the King of Wands removes himself from an employer, sets off on a journey to essentially, and this is a love deck, sets off on a journey to be with a soulmate. She has to do the same thing as well. Extract herself from the ties that bind. And then God turns him into a pair of birds and they fly away to their freedom. But on an individual level, this is about one individual doing that. Recognizing the untruths in their life. Without me. What are the lyrics of that song? Oh, guess who's back? Guess who's back? Back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's... Too many guess who's back. Oh my God, there's a lot of guess who's back. Guess who's back? Somebody's coming back around. I've created a monster because nobody wants to see Marshall no more. They want Shady. Okay, I'm not going to read those lyrics because they're kind of a bit gross. But there's something in that song, maybe in the music video, but that guess who's back, guess who's back. Something coming around again. That's also another song, Coming Around Again. Carly Simon, on repeat at the moment. And I have my songs on random shuffle. And so when there's repeating songs coming through, they form part of a message. Okay, I'm going to use this tiny little deck. Let's find out about this jealousy, backstabbing that's gone on. And that's flown right over the side. The Death card, but it's in reverse. The Death card is an ending, so it's something not wanting to end. Something not wanting to end. What else? Something not wanting to end. The Six of Pentacles. Okay. There's something here. There's something here about something that you give to whoever this parties is. There's something about what you give to them, and that's Pentacles. So that's something in the 3D. It could be stability, it could be finance, it could be, I just heard treat him mean to keep him keen. This message is really cryptic. Maybe what's gone on here is somebody's been jealous of you. They've pushed you far enough away, but kept you close enough that they can still siphon your energy. In the physical. Okay, let's have a look at the Ace of Cups. The Knight of Pentacles, done slowly, and the Queen of Cups. Okay, the Queen of Cups is about intuition. It's about your cup being full, but it's full of knowledge. Knowledge and understanding now of potentially the people in and around you. And you've worked it out over time. I just see Jim Carrey in that show. And he starts looking at everybody around him, but through a different lens, through a spiritual lens. Yeah, okay. And the Six of Swords. Page of Pentacles. That's the card of the student. The Six of Swords. Your recognition, your realization in this situation is what actually gives God the green light to take you out of there. Because this is a card of divine assistance, of divine guidance. Once you've tapped in to the higher realm. And that's what that reading was about that I watched. Apple juice. It was talking about the different timelines that people are on in this very present moment. And people that are still drinking the apple juice will remain on the same timeline. But people that have realized that maybe the apple juice is toxic, has a hidden agenda, they're the ones that get elevated through their expansion of their mind. They're the ones that get elevated, can recognize that maybe, somebody's coming back into their life, some sort of recollection, why did I say that? Reconciliation is happening because they want you to continue to drink the Kool-Aid. They want you to continue to drink the apple juice. And a bit like that guy in Utah, he wasn't drinking the apple juice anymore. He was stepping away. Okay, the Six of Swords, the Knight of Cups. Maybe that's what this reading is. Confirmation of things that you are picking up on. The Knight of Cups is the moon in Scorpio. We are about to go into Scorpio season. Scorpio is November. And actually too, the All Hallows Eve, which is the 31st of October, which is next week, and the 1st of November, which is All Saints Day. The veil is thin. Now, All Saints Day is a representation, if we look at the Last Judgment painting on the back wall of the Sistine Chapel, which was being painted at that time when Henry VIII, in 1536, well, it was started in 1535. 1536 was the formal removal, the Reformation of Proclamation, the formal removal of England from Catholicism happened in 1536, which is when that painting was going up, was being painted. That painting depicts the Last Judgment, and it is all of the people that have been martyred, all of the saints that had been martyred 490 years ago. That painting was painted. 2025, when it's 490, is 1535 was when that painting was begun. So again, we've got this You know, this is the last judgment for you. You are making a judgment call on these people in your life. That card there, which is the Knight of Cups, is the moon in Scorpio. Scorpio is about death and rebirth, and the moon is about things that are hidden. Where do you want to start your life? If we're talking about Truman, I mean, he left there on a sailing boat, didn't he? We got a boat there. What is the dome that you have been living under in terms of the illusion that you've been living under, spurred on by some sort of jealousy around you? Okay, the message from the man upstairs. Okay, we've got the Queen of Swords. We've got her here in the outcome. I'm going to swivel that because I don't know whether it's come out. I think it's meant to be that way. Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is Mercury in Sagittarius. It's divine messages. Divine messages of truth. Let me just spin it. Oh, it's not going to do it. Eight. And I think it did come out upside down. And what I want to say here is that to get the divine up in reverse is not receiving messages. Not receiving messages from the divine. But I think why that's upside down is because you had to live it and experience it to get those divine messages from within, intuitively within, so that you could then wield that sort of truth. Some lessons in life have to be lived. They can't be observed, which is really awful because then you got to wade through heaps of crap, essentially. But I guess when it's people that don't have your best interest at heart, so that you don't go back and repeat the second time, the third time, however many times, so that when they represent themselves to you, you are in this Queen of Swords energy. You're not relying on an external source. You know because you lived it and felt it. Lived it and felt it. Five of Pentacles is being left out in the cold, which is what Jacob's brothers did. They shipped him off because they were jealous. They ostracized him because they were jealous. Okay, the Queen of Swords, the outcome. The Four of Swords. This is a time of healing. Of knowing that, you know, people come into your, that saying, people come into your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. King of Cups. It's about filling your own cup, but the King of Cups is Neptune in Pisces. So Pisces is a spiritual lesson, and Neptune is down the bottom of the ocean. You literally had to be drowned in order to save yourself. And the Eight of Cups is about walking away because of the lessons that you have learned. Seven of Cups is illusion, the illusion that was around you, walking away and walking towards your Nine of Cups, which is essentially wish fulfillment. Okay, let's get one of these. Yeah, I had to hear your own call. The shell. It reminds me of, you know, in Transformers where they drop the Decepticons right down to the bottom of the ocean, but they still come back up. Babushka dolls, it had to be broken down. What's hidden had to be revealed. A to Z, the beginning and the end, which is this loop that you're either in or that you've completed. I think you've completed it. And that's my dog barking at the door. The postman's just gone past on his bike. The postman brings messages. There's a message that's trying to get through. And on the bottom we've got the Scarecrow. If I only had a brain. Well, you do. Because you've filled your brain with insight. And we've got the crow on there. And then I've got runes. Let me just pop that there. Because what I want to do, and I made these months ago, I decided to make my own. I've got a family history connection with this part of the world, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to make my own. As I made them, I got really annoyed because it's just clay. And what happened was they started to fall apart as they dried. So that's actually the Bluetooth sign. So messages, and I'm going to, because I'm guided to, give you some information on that particular one. I'm going to pop him there. A connection that's been broken. 18, Bacano, meaning a birch tree. Birch is without fruit, but just the same, it bears limbs without fertile seed. It has beautiful branches high on its crown. It is finely covered, loaded with leaves touching the sky. Birch twig is the limb greenest with leaves. Loki bought the luck of deceit. Birch twig is a leafy limb and a little tree, and a youthful wood. It corresponds with Freya, swan and a bear, the constellation of Cancer, the colour green, and the element water and earth. It symbolizes the second tree rune, meaning birch. This graceful tree has the poetic name Lady of the Woods and is probably the only tree to be found throughout the whole area peopled by the Germanic tribes. Some tribes revered Bacana, which is the birch tree, as a goddess in her own right. It was often used in the maypole during the May Day fertility rites, which are still celebrated in parts of Britain. It's dedicated to the moon goddess Valburga in Germany, and it's signified in use for witches' broomsticks, which is what I was just talking about, Halloween. Symbolizes nourishment, mothering, nurturing, associated with new beginnings or fresh projects that require careful nurturing to ensure they achieve to full fruition. The Knight of Pentacles is slow and steady. Nurturing, nourishment, mothering, fertility, beauty, healing, growth. Earth Mother, spiritual growth, sustenance. In the reverse, so it's broken. Neglect, sterility, fresh starts, new projects. Interesting. That's so interesting. Beginning and an end. And maybe, like for us, with this medical visit, we've got to go right back to the beginning to work out what is happening in the end, which is right now for us. We want a new beginning. Even that's the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz. The Yellow Brick Road is a spiritual journey that they were on to get enlightenment, to come to a realization that everything that they needed was already within. They'd just been told that they weren't of value. And that goes back to here. You're not of value because we are jealous, so we are ostracizing you. It's about finding your power and standing in it. Okay, let me get you some Scrabble tiles. Letters and numbers in here. It does make a little bit of noise when I shake it. I'm going to shake it in 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's see what we've got. A bun in the oven, a B and a 3. That's a new beginning. A U and a 1. An N and a 1. A new beginning. Q and a 10. A H and a 4. An R and a 1. An L and a 1. An F and a 4. A T and a 1. An E and a 1, lots of ones, and an X. That's the end, the symbol of the end. Okay, I'm going to get you 3 final cards, and then I am going to leave you. Where do I want to get them from? Let's get them from here. Anything else your guides want to say? Yep, balance is coming back, justice. The Knight of Cups, which again is what's in your soul. This is the moon in Scorpio. So this particular time that you might actually, would it be the new moon in Scorpio, or would it be the new full moon in Taurus, new moon? I don't know how that works. New moon in Scorpio, where you get some enlightenment. Yeah, the Knight of Swords. About some sort of heartbreak. See, the Knight of Swords leads to the 10 of Swords. Or what actually led up to this? What seeds were planted that led up to this? That's about building. The seeds that were planted that led up to whatever this is in your life. This jealousy. I want to get you one, just a guidance card. Anything else? Oh, okay, that's a lot. Do I want all of them? Okay, let's just do those. I have to be obedient. Cards come out for a reason, and when they come out in a big stack like that, look, we've knocked the bun out of the oven. Somebody doesn't want you to have a new beginning. Health, I shall revere the sacred vessel that cradles my spirit. Temperance, I embrace the truth that all unfolds in celestial harmony. And achievement, I am aware that no aspiration surpasses the boundless power of love. Okay, that's what I've got for you. Thanks so much for joining me for this reading. All the best. If the reading resonates with you, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. If you're called to any of my decks, the links to those can be found in the description box. And as I said, I'll also list those songs in there. There might be more messages in them for you. All the best, and I'll see you in another reading.